So it's happening. Mississippi governor signs into law prohibition on schools teaching critical race theory. This is the obligatory, like, I gotta play this, okay? Just hold the phone here. Hold the phone.
What's the most important issue? And what is critical race theory?
Well, I'm not going to get into the specifics of it because I don't understand it that much, but it's something that what little bit that I know I don't care for.
And what have you heard that you don't?
Well,
that you don't like?
I'm not going to, I don't have that much knowledge on it.
So that's the average CRT hater. So okay. So this is actually a really good strategy, and I think Democrats need to pay attention. So find something that doesn't exist, right? Like God, for example, and then pass legislation, right, that, bans that thing that doesn't exist. And then you take a victory lap, all right? Because that's the thing. As soon as you sign the paper, it's not like, it's not like a process begins where people need to be fired for teaching critical race theory. It's not like a process none of that happens. You just sign the paper and it's banned, and it never was there in the first place. So you win. Like, it's an easy thing. We got to start doing that on the Democratic side. But anyway, Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves on Monday signed into law a bill described as a prohibition on critical race theory, becoming the latest Republican-controlled state to legislate how history and race can be taught in schools. Again, critical race theory. What is critical race theory? Does anyone know? I don't even know what critical race theory is. Well, I do, but I'm Reeves, a Republican, posted a video of him signing the bill saying, "In too many schools around the U.S., CRT is running amok. It threatens the integrity of education and aims to only humiliate and indoctrinate. That's why I signed legislation that will keep CRT where it belongs, out of Mississippi classrooms." What? What is CRT? Imagine, okay, and then, he picks on the press pool, and then the press, is like, okay, so what is CRT? And then he's like, But let's see, what is in this bill? Senate Bill 2113 forbids public schools in the state from forcing students to agree that any sex, race, ethnicity, religion, or national origin is inherently superior or inferior. Okay. All right. I agree. That's a good bill. It bans racism. That's great. The bill does not mention or define critical race theory, and it doesn't ban educators from teaching any specific submatter. So it just bans racism. That's a good deal. This is a good bill. Maybe I like this guy now. Maybe this is, how can we get racism bans? Right? Racism bans. How can we get that? Oh, we'll just ban CRT. We'll tell everyone else we're banning CRT, right? They won't read the bill. The bill actually just bans racism. They'll think it just bans reverse racism, which doesn't exist. And then we're good. This is a good bill. In Mississippi, are we still going to have to pledge to God under the flag in the morning, though? Why can I say, and pledge allegiance to the flag under Allah? Am I allowed to say that? Because I'm just wondering. I'm just curious, right? Because if not, that's a problem. Because that's showing that obviously people think that God is superior to Allah. Mississippi is the 15th state to pass such a law, according to Education Week. The crackdown on certain teachings about race is part of a national effort by Republicans to remove critical race theory from school curricula, even where it doesn't exist. The movement has mobilized conservative parents and voters and has turned schools into the front lines of a national culture war leading up to the 2022 midterms. Critical race theory is a concept that seeks to understand and address inequality and racism in the United States. The term has also become politicized and has been attacked by its critics as a Marxist ideology that's a threat to the American way of life. Now, again, what does the Senate bill do? It bans anything that postulates that someone's race is superior to another. What does that have to do with critical race theory? I ask you. Right? In their mind, critical race theory is like, we're going to teach the white man to hate themselves, and then the blacks are going to run over the world, and then the white man's going to feel guilt, and then goddamn guilt, and then the blacks, and then goddamn whites. Like, that's, in their mind, that's what they're thinking. Right? In their mind. Right? In reality, what is critical race theory? Oh, well, you know, we used to have slavery in this fucking country. You know, just fun fact, we used to have slavery in this fucking country. And then when we abolished slavery, the country, right, we did it in the worst way imaginable, right? So, like, we abolished slavery literally in the most like, if we just abolished slavery and then did nothing else, things would have probably been better than what this fucking country did, right? Again, so slavery was abolished, and then there was like 100 fucking years of Jim Crow, right? And like, so it's a problem, right? So critical race theory is like, okay, so yeah, that happened. And so we're still dealing with the effects of that, you know, because our ancestors were fucking stupid. So how about we try to like fix that a little bit? And then white Republicans are like, no, critical race theory. Educators insist that CRT is generally not included in grade school curriculum. The concept is usually taught in graduate level courses at universities. Mississippi State Sen Republican Chris McDaniel, who co-authored the bill, told CNN in February CRT promotes victimhood instead of student success. What does that mean, victimhood? I noticed that we're teaching victimhood. Like, what? When the state Senate voted on the bill in January, black lawmakers walked out and protested the measure. It ultimately passed along party lines in a 32-2 vote. Party lines, 32-2, by the way. Party lines, 32-2. That's crazy. I mean, that's one hell of a state legislature. With Republicans in support of the measure and Democrats against it, the state house passed the bill in March in a party line vote of 75-43. Reeves defended signing the bill, saying that it in no way, shape, or form prohibits the teaching of history. Any claim that this bill will somehow stop Mississippi kids from learning about American history is just flat out wrong. I've said it before and I'll say it again. All elements of Mississippi and all elements of American history, both the good and the bad, should be taught in our schools, period. It just bans critical race theory. So they're proud of themselves. They're going on a victory tour. I don't like, again, it's a really good strategy. Something does not exist, right? You campaign on banning it. It doesn't exist. So part one of the propaganda is convincing people that something that isn't real is somehow infecting everybody, right? Everyone is infected by CRT. It's not real, but we're all suffering. So you convince them that something that's completely made up is real, and then you ban it, and then they vote for you, and then you win elections. It's that simple. It's a really good strategy. It's a really, really good strategy. So shout outs to the Republicans who really know how to play the game. I wish Democrats would do that. Like, why aren't Democrats banning, like fascism being taught in schools? Oh, right, because then the Pledge of Allegiance would have to be banned, and then most of American history would have to be reformulated. I don't know. Anyway, just another example of Republicans that are probably going to be laying the groundwork for a slam dunk in 2022, and not looking forward to it, let me tell you.